I'm so sorry that the picture is so blurry right now. I moved my chair so that you could see my new bookshelf back there. And the camera got so out of focus that it looks blurry. I am so sorry. Hopefully it will fix itself in a little bit. But welcome to the Freaks of AHS review Murder House. I'm so sorry. As you can see, it's just me. But that's okay. The show must always go on. So let's start talking about Murder House. I ran some polls on my Twitter account and I believe some of them in the Facebook account. So I'm going to give you guys the results of those, talk about some of the things that happened in Murder House, like some things that we never got a result on, or some little weird things that I noticed while reviewing the season. And I just wanted to point it out to you guys as well. So I just want to say thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate it. What's up, Petas? So glad to have you. Jake Rings says, finger that like button, guys. Ernesto, it's so great to have you. Hey, Patty, No-Tell Hotel. I'm so glad you're here for a live stream. Glenn Murphy, Craig Cass, Carnage DeCarlo. It's your first live stream. Welcome. Thomas Perry, I'm so glad you're here. Danny, I'm so glad you were able to make it. And of course, my awesome Dawn Ford, Tammy Sifford, and BRT. Dawn, I'm just going to go on ahead and just add you as a moderator. So welcome to the moderator world, Dawn. Dawn is so sweet. She won a contest and I need to still send her her shirt. She's waiting on it. And she's been so sweet and patient. So I'm just going to, she's such a wonderful person and patron. So I'm just going to give that little extra to her since she's been so sweet and tremendously patient. So Glenn says, started rewatching Murder House tonight and I like it a lot more the second time around. You know, I did like it a lot more this time around that I watched it because I was watching for certain clues, like to the Coven crossover with Murder House. I was also looking for clues. Constance was a witch. There were so many clues I was looking for. So I heavily watched season 1 again. And I do have to agree, I liked it better than when we had to review it for, you know, my channel when Casey, Maisie, and I were doing Beyond the Horror for Murder House. I really like it better. You are so welcome, John. We love you so much. Excuse me. Patty says you must have ESPN. That's funny, ESP. That's another funny way for saying ESP. I was thinking of that tonight on Answered Questions of Murder House. You know, Patty, I have to say not everybody gets that joke. I made that comment to somebody who had left a comment on one of my theory videos, and I was trying to answer them, but like in a cute, funny way. So I typed in like, I don't have ESPN, something like that, just something cute and funny. And they were like, I'm so sorry. I didn't think I'd make you mad. And I was like, no, I'm so sorry. It was just a joke. Yeah. When you talk to people on the internet, they don't catch first things. So guys, I definitely did find definitive proof that Constance has a witchy side to her. And that more than likely she probably was related to the Delampres, like she's saying at the end of Murder House. And then of course, Mimi Delampre from Coven, who was one of the Supremes. I do heavily feel now that they are definitely related. There's no other way. They both had powers. Even though Mimi was the Supreme, Constance has a very rare power as well that Cordelia spoke about in Coven. I'm so sorry. I had to get a little drink. I have a little frog in my throat. So there were some things that I noticed about Murder House I wanted to go over with very quickly with you guys. And then, of course, give you some of the results and some of the polls and talk about some of the tips that you guys wanted to talk about. Now, there were some things that I noticed, such as like Constance Langdon is from Virginia. Nora Montgomery was a socialite from the East Coast. It really makes me think that Nora is, even though maybe Charles Montgomery and Madison Montgomery probably aren't related, I think there's something about Nora that fits into the seasons and prior characters. I just haven't figured it out yet, but maybe because we're going week by week and rewatching the episodes again, maybe I'll find that connection. So I thought that was really cool how they were both from the east side of the USA. Um, and then, of course, how the heck could Marcy refer Chad and Patrick to be the fluffers to help Vivian and Ben sell the murder house when they're freaking dead? I mean, did they hear Marcy saying that she was going to get a gay fluffer guy to help them fix the house and set up? And they just, decide to show up, or maybe they killed the gay fluffer guy. Never know. They were some pissy people, some pissy ghosts, I should say. Or did she, contact Chad and Patrick and make a deal with them to come to the house and be the fluffer? I don't know. What do you guys think happened with that, with Marcy? Let me know in the comments. Of course, guys, please don't forget to thumb up the video if you're enjoying it. I will be here next Sunday reviewing Asylum. And every single day in the Freaks of AHS, which is our Facebook group, there's a link to that in the description. That is where we review episodes, do polls and stuff like that. And I also have it on my Twitter at MaryGirl Moody. So let me know what you guys thought about Patrick and Chad being the fluffers. Do you think Marcy did that on purpose, or do you think that they just overheard her and just decided to just step in and just take the job? Okay, so I still have some polls open right now on my Twitter, such as this one. Would you move into a house where the former owners were murdered? So 10% says absolutely. 24% says hell no. 17% says I think I might. And 49% says if the price was right. So if you want to make your voice count, go over to my Twitter. Again, it's at MaryGirl Moody, and you can go vote on that one. I think there's another one still open. And I might do a couple more murder house ones tonight on my Twitter and close them out pretty quickly, because obviously I'm going to start posting poll questions about Asylum. So another one that is still open is a question: what would you do if you found a big black rubber suit in your new house? Would you keep it, toss it, wear it, or scare the neighbors with it? And on Facebook, there was an extra option to disinfect the shit out of it and wear it. But, you can, there was only 4 options on Twitter. So you can still vote on this one, but 27% says keep it. And that's implied, guys, that you disinfect the shit out of it, okay, if you keep it. I don't think I need to write it. I think it's just, or maybe if you're an Evan Peters fan, maybe you wouldn't disinfect it. I would definitely give it to Maisie as a present. 31% says that they would toss it. 15% says that they would wear it. 27% says that they would scare the neighbors with it. And then another question that is still open, again, on my Twitter at MaryGirl Moody. Vivian forgave Ben for cheating in the murder house. Could you do the same? 61%, an overwhelming 61% of you says no. 21% says maybe. 18% says yes. So again, those questions are open. And here in just a minute, I'll go over the questions that I have asked and that the polls have already closed for. Now, the ones for Murder House are still open. I think you can still vote up until like tonight and maybe in the morning. But these right here that I did polls on for season 8, those have already closed. So I'm going to give you the results of those here in just a moment. So let's take a couple of comments, and then I'll go back, and there's still some more little things that I noted about Murder House that I wanted to talk to you guys about and see if you caught them. And then also, if there's something that you noticed in Murder House that you were like, what the fucking fuck? Just put it into the comments, okay? And we'll talk about it. Also, guys, if you want to become a patron, there is a link to it in the description. And there's also still super chats now if you want to give a super chat. Every dollar donated to the channel goes to pay for the prizes that I give out. So, okay. Fan Made in America says her mother had the same affliction. Oh, darn it. Fan Made in America, where Pose is so emotional. Fan Made in America is talking about one of the characters. Which character are you talking about? Her mother had the same affliction. It sparked something from Murder House, you know. Glenn asks, is Mondays or Murder coming back soon? Yes. I'm so sorry. After I deleted all that hard work that I did, I just feel so, crazy about getting back into them. But there was a lot of them that have actually been solved. And so I do continue. They're not over, I promise, Glenn. And they will continue soon. Just not right this second. B. Devlin says, quick theory, guys. Tice's mom in Coven mentioned her mother was a witch. Anyone else think it's possible we've already met the grandmother? Ooh. Okay, that's a really good question, B. Devlin. I have no clue, but it would be great to see her in the Murder House Coven crossover. Oh, Glenn, guys, Glenn is asking for no Pose spoilers, and I must ask the same because I am not completely caught up on it. Let's see. SS Retrozone asks, why is Moira appearing old? Okay, so I know the question to that one now. In the episode, it is explained that, like, you see, thank you so much, BRT, for the super chats. You were so awesome. What's up, Gravity Punk? I'm so glad you're here. Moira is seen by the people, the ghosts, even the people in the house that come visit and everything. The way that they see her, I guess, which, oh God, I guess I should have actually written it down to explain it more. Okay, so a lot of men, if you notice in Murder House, see Moira as a very sexy Alexandria Breckenridge. And then a lot of the women there see her as an older and even more beautiful Frances Conroy. But there is a reason why everybody is seeing her different, such as Violet, Taissa Farminga. She even saw Moira as her sexy side. Okay, so I do apologize. It was explained in, I think, like the third episode, that the people who see her, it's how they think of her. I guess that's how you should say, like, oh, darn it. It is explained. I can't believe that I can't just get it out right now. Maybe maybe I need to go back and watch it and answer it actually in the comments after this. But SS Retrozone, that is a really good question, and that was answered. I just feel so stupid that I can't honestly think about it right this second. Again, it was just explained somehow that Moira was viewed the way, I guess, that people saw her, which it seems kind of silly because Moira only portrayed herself as either a sexy Moira or an older sexy Moira, you know? So I think it had something to do with the person or the ghost actually viewing Moira, like their feelings, their emotions about women, and how they see them. I don't know. Hopefully that makes a little sense. Okay, so thank you so much, Don Ford, for your help. And thank you, Fan Made in America, for explaining that Zoe's grandmother had the same affliction. I cannot, man, I do hope that they include her in the crossover season. Let's see. Let's see. Let me keep going up very quick. Petty Collins says, I think they came back because it was Halloween and the Harmons assumed that they were the Fluffers, so they took over the role. So, Patty, we were just now talking about Chad and Patrick and how did, like, Marcy call them in the house? Is she like, hey, did she go, what's up, Chad, Patrick, be Fluffers for me? Or did she really call some guy and say, hey, show up to Vivian and Ben Harmon's house, and he just like never did or something? So I just wondered how Chad and Patrick came in there. So Patty says again that I think they came back because it was Halloween and the Harmons assumed that they were the Fluffers, so they just took over the role. Yeah, that's probably it. Patty says, I was taking notes and I can't remember who said this because I'm buzzed right now. Patty, guys, I so love your honesty. I love our honesty here in the live stream. Definitely keep it going. But Patty says, here is none of us can help it once we found out we had been chosen from Murder House. Okay. And yeah, guys, starting tomorrow, we review Asylum. So look for Asylum questions on my Twitter account. What's up, Marcus Ruckus? It's so great to have you. Carnage DeCarno says, I watched the season without knowing it was a horror show. I thought it was a queer-friendly drama, which I guess it still is. That's hilarious. Fan Made in America said that Murder House's poster really freaked me out the first time I ever knew what AHS was about. LOL. I was like, what was that black rubber thing? Fan Made in America, I completely agree with you. No Tail Hotel says opening credits. I am so excited. I cannot wait for opening credits for this season. Do you guys think that we are going to get opening credits or not? And whenever you put them in the comments, say yes to credits or no to credits. So that way I can keep up with you. Tail Hotel says, I remember back when I first started watching the show, I always skipped the credits. LOL. Used to be so scary. Absolutely. Okay, so let's take a vote very quickly. And I'm going to probably put the vote in my Freaks of AHS group because Twitter does not allow me to have that many options. But I wanted to ask you guys what was the scariest opening credits, even down to Cult, because, you know, Roanoke didn't even have opening credits. I think that was probably the scariest because we didn't get any. But I have to say, if I had to choose between the scariest opening credits, that's Coven. All the way 100%. So let me know in the comments what you think the scariest one is. Just put scariest and then put the season that you think was the absolute scariest. No Tail Hotel says, oh, I already got that one. Glenn Murphy says, for the first time, I'm happy for my insomnia because I get to watch the stream. It's 3 a.m. there. Glenn, you are a hashtag trooper and an awesome Amazeballs fan for watching me right now. Thank you so much. Guys, give Glenn some love in the comments because he deserves it. Let's see. Okay, so I've gotten to some of the most current. So before I get to some of the most current comments, let me put on here a couple of things that I have noticed about American Horror Story. Almost every single character in this season mentioned this darkness inside of the house. And I think that that is heavily, I wish honestly I would have seen Murder House. What play? Oh, honestly, I wished I would have seen Murder House before I did my season 8 theory video, because I think it gave away a lot of information about the house itself and about how it could play in season 8. And we'll actually go over that too here in the video or in this live stream. And the most important thing that I wanted to mention again was almost every character mentions a darkness inside the house. And in the episode where Violet asks Billy how to get rid of Chad and Patrick from the house because they were going to take the babies after Vivian gives birth to them. In that conversation, Billy had never been in the murder house before. So Constance and Violet take her over there so she can tell them how to banish Chad and Patrick's spirits from the house. And when that happens, Billy Dean does a great job of explaining about the house. And since I can screen share here, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to get that episode ready because I know exactly where it is. And I'll screen share the spot. We can actually all watch it together real quick. And another thing that I wanted to mention is that Ben is an idiot. I mean, throughout every single episode of American Horror Story, Ben has thoroughly proved he is a moron. And I mean, one thing that I have to touch on to exemplify this very much is that Ben goes back into the fucking murder house after his wife, his daughter, and his baby are killed in it. His whole entire family is smothered, swished out, and he still goes back to live in that house. Hashtag what the fucking fuck. I mean, I'm so sorry, but I don't give a shit how broke I am, okay? If this fucking house was to kill my entire family except leave me and one child alive, I'm taking the fuck out of there, okay? So I don't care how much money I don't have. I don't know, maybe it's just me. You guys let me know too in the comments. Would you go back to the murder house after it killed your family? So just type like murder house return into the comments and like yes or no if you would return, okay? And so before I get to the spot on Netflix in regards to Billy Dean explaining the house, where, oh, darn it, come on, let me see. Okay, hang on one second. It's just gonna take me a second to get there. And I'm gonna go right back here in just a moment, and I am going to for comments and give a couple more poll theories. Okay, so here we go. There we go. Violet gives birth. That's the one. Okay, so again, the reason why I wanted to show this to you guys was because a great scene itself is less than 2 minutes, but she gives a great explanation about the house and the power and how it was created. So I think that what had happened, obviously, was all of the abortions and all Dr. Montgomery did on the property. That's probably what gave the house its power. But after I saw this scene, I didn't necessarily think it was so. So again, I really want you guys to see it. I basically have it ready, but before I go to it and show it to you guys, I wanted to move over to a couple of poll questions real quick to give you guys the answers to, and then I'll take a couple of comments and then we'll do that. So thank you all so much again for being here. If you're enjoying the stream and the review of Murder House, please thumb it up. And don't forget to click the subscribe button because I will be here next Sunday reviewing Asylum, hopefully with Casey and Tammy. But I will be here. So, and I will also have these poll questions on my Twitter. So please go there and vote. Now, these questions have already been closed out, so you cannot vote on these. These are questions regarding the season 8 crossover. This question was from me, was how many characters do you think Sarah Paulson is playing this season on American Horror Story? And 51% said 3 characters, 15% said 5 characters, 10% said 8 characters, and 24% said every character. I love that question. This next question was, which character do you want to return to American Horror Story crossover? And again, this one is closed out, so sadly you cannot vote on it. Only the Murder House questions can still be voted on. 23% said Cordelia Good. 37% said Constance Langdon. 26% said Misty Day, and 14% said Michael Langdon. So Constance overwhelmingly won that question, as well as Sarah Paulson, only playing 3 characters, overwhelmingly won on that poll. So there's a couple more questions left. I'll go back to those in just a minute. Let me take a couple of questions. No, Glenn, I have not seen Ocean's 8. I am so excited to see it, though. Could you turn that down a little bit, darling? No problem, darling. Andy, hey, it's so great to have you. I do have proof. I do want you guys to know that Constance Langdon is a witch, and I am working on that video. Actually, I would be working on it right now, but I'm streaming with my awesome friends right here. So that video will be coming out soon, as well as season 8 best fan theories for the crossover. 7 degrees of Sarah Paulson. Oh, good Lord. There are so many theory videos that I have right now in the works. And of course, my patrons get to suggest a theory video. They can even suggest you know, a theory video that spaghetti is going to be the main downfall of the crossover, and I will make it. I will make it and I will post it, especially for that patron that suggested it, because I do anything for my patrons. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much, Nathan, for your appreciation and your sweet comment. I really greatly appreciate that. I love you all so much. So again, those theory videos are coming. Patrons do get them early. I do apologize. You guys will get them after the patrons get to. And if any information is given in regards to the season 8 crossover or any breaking news regarding American Horror Story, I always go live. So make sure that you click the bell notification button to be notified when I go live. So, okay, let's take a couple of comments. Andy says, this is Coven related. There was a scene where Queenie took the heart from a homeless man and it was beating in her hand, kind of like Scathach. Ooh. Now, you know, a lot of people are asking about, are they going to go back? The witch is going to go to LA to go find Queenie. Maybe that's why it's the Murder House Coven crossover. You know, I really want Queenie back, okay? It has not been confirmed that Gabrielle Sidibe has been confirmed back, so I do apologize. I would love to have Queenie back. Sadly, I don't think we're going to actually get the murder house, because the people now who own it are dicks, and they hate the fact that the house is a Hollywood icon. They hate that people come to look at it, take pictures of it. I mean, you think Stephen King, who truly is an American Hollywood icon, he gets people all the time, daily, in droves in front of his house taking pictures, and he doesn't have a problem with it. I mean, but these people are just so pissed. They don't want to have anything to do with American Horror Story. So I wonder if like Ryan did the whole like murder house thing just to piss them off. You know, because now it's going to bring people back, like looking at the house to see if like they're filming there and things like that. So, okay. Fan Made in America just asked a great question. Fan Made in America. I wish I could screenshot that for my theory video. Fan Made in America asks, you guys, are you guys think that one of the witches will be pregnant and go to the murder house to get an abortion? I love that idea. If that's somebody who now lives in the murder house. My honest theory is that Vivian and Ben, from the final episode, they are going to do everything they can to keep that house vacant. And from where I'm understanding, that's probably what the house is going to be in the season 8 crossover. It's just going to be vacant. And if they want to do any kind of shooting for the murder house, they're going to have to build the scene. You know, the exterior shots of Murder House, they've already got. Interior shots, they can just rebuild the scene. I mean, hell, even Ash versus Evil Dead, when they rebuilt the cabin, they rebuilt it exactly from the movie. And I'm pretty positive that the Murder House Coven crossover is going to have a great budget. And if they need to recreate scenes from the Murder House, exterior shots are already done, so they could just build the set for the inside. And they don't need to build the whole house, maybe just like the kitchen, a bedroom, and one other room, if they even need to do that. But then, boom, there's your Murder House Coven crossover. If they do an inside shot to the kitchen that they, you know, reconstructed. So Andy asks, have you seen the alleged leak of the cast list on Twitter? Yeah, I have. I'm so sorry, Andy. That was hilarious. Who the people that they had casted, even in their names, like the character names, it was so hilarious. It looked really fake, but I did see it. So thank you guys so much for bringing it to my attention. B. Devlin, that's a great question. Andy, if you do have a link, would you mind posting it? B. Devlin, I will repost it on my Twitter account, and it is in the Freaks of AHS group. Oh God, you know, that's great. Oh, here it is. Ah, it's right here. Okay, let me Okay, so Sarah Paulson's gonna play Cordelia. Evan's gonna play Kyle slash AN. I don't know what they're trying to say. Like AN is obviously another character, but Billy Lord is set to play a character called Kristen Davis, even spelled the same way as Kristen Davis from Sex and the City and Couples Retreat. That is so crazy. Um, Joan Collins' name is Carol McFarland. So yeah, we'll go over all of this stuff on my weekly Wednesday live stream. But Daniel posted it in the Freaks of AHS. So you guys who are members, go check that out. And if not, I will definitely retweet that. There's so much fake news, though, going around about American Horror Story. That's why I don't like to post it. So, yeah, Danny, thank you so much for posting it. Light Yagami 43, it's so great to have you. It has been a long time. Glenn Murphy says Emma isn't in the premiere episode of AHS 8. Well, we will see. There was a great post from Sarah Paulson. She posted Billy Lord in the hairdresser's room, shaking her head to Whitney Houston's How Will I Know? And then, of course, there was like an old picture of Kyle, or excuse me, not Kyle, the Cult guy. Oh my God, Evan Peters' character from Cult, Kai. Kai there was a picture of him like in the lower left-hand corner. And I searched that picture for so much information, and that's the only thing we really found. But I think that was just a picture left behind from last season. Colt was the previous season, so I think that was just something that was just stray and left behind. Joan Collins has also posted on her Twitter and Instagram about day 3 of being on set of American Horror Story. So we do know that Billy Lord, Joan Collins, and Sarah Paulson are all 3 filming. Witches! So you guys let me know about the witches. Oh no, Kupo. I'm so glad to see you, darling. They said, Matt. On one of my season 6 videos, I did a compilation of every time Shelby said Matt, like she screamed Matt. It was hilarious. I'll try to find that and get the video, cut it, and maybe like repost it on its own. And one thing I'm trying to do, but I just wish I had the time for, I noticed in Murder House that Vivian said through almost every episode repeatedly, oh, Glenn Murphy also said that Leslie Grossman is also filming. Glenn, you are badass for saying that. And Andy, I have noticed the hashtag horror her story that they've been using. So we're going to be talking about that in the weekly Wednesday live stream and all that stuff. Oh shit, I just lost my idea. But yeah, there's so much to talk about season 8 and about theory videos that I'm making and things like that. So oh gosh, yeah, it's just so overwhelming. Okay, so I will be back on Wednesday to do the weekly Wednesday live stream. And let me show you guys, since it's 9:30 and I've been babbling for a little bit, it's time to do the screen share so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Here, let me turn my volume up. Okay, so let me screen share with you guys so you can come watch this. Okay. Oh, snap. There we go. Okay, so I have the captions on if you guys can't hear what's being said.
And regret.
Listen to the scene.
Fear. Sadness. Guilt. And perversion. Now, can you ferret out the fairies for us? I mean, that's our main concern at the moment. Targeting a particular spirit is going to be difficult. This is a very crowded house. You are so young. I'm so sorry. Oh God, please don't tell. I can't now. So what can we do? Somehow we have to try and dislodge them from the paramagnetic grip of this place. What? The evil. It's a force just like any other violence. Pure physics. Real and powerful. created by events that unleash psychic energy into the environment where it's absorbed, like the way a battery stores energy. You'll see it all the time in places like prisons or
asylums.
Negative energy feeds on trauma and pain. It draws those things to it. The force here in this house is larger than the many individual traumas, and it has a need. It wants to break through. It wants to move in our world. It's using those trapped between this world and the next as conduit. That's very interesting. But what do we do about the gays? I mean, how do we get rid of them? Oh, there might be a way. I can't promise.
Okay, so that's...
He can't be here.
Okay, so that ends that. So I want to hear your thoughts on that, guys, because Billy explains it as that there is an evil in the house, and that the negative events that happened in the house, the walls basically absorbed and stored it up like a battery. And its purpose is to use the ghosts to break through into the world and move among everybody. Which, as far as I'm concerned, what could be more ultimate of the evil moving through this world than for Tate, the ghost, who is the darkness, that, you know, even Violet himself calls Tate the darkness, that she was very attracted to him at first because they were like each other. They were attracted to the darkness, but now she knows that he is the darkness. So what would be better than that darkness coming together to make into a form, which is with Vivian, to make that baby Michael? So obviously what Billy Dean is talking about is in this scene is that the house is trying to move beyond its walls, so to speak. The evil inside the house is trying to get off of the couch, so to speak, and move with those of us living in the real world outside of that house, which ultimately does happen. So I just thought that was a great scene. That was a great explanation. You were talking about how many times Vivian says something. Oh, Craig, thank you so much for reminding me. Vivian says almost like 4 times in every single episode, "I'm pregnant." Literally, she says it countless times in the episode. So I wished I had gone and recorded clips of her saying "I'm pregnant," because I wanted to make a video about how many times she said it, because it was constantly. And then I do want to remind you guys that I did find at least 5 examples of Constance showing her witchy powers, which to me, if she has the DeLongpres as relatives, they are probably related to the Supreme. So that is, wow, that is just so much information to connect. Oh, thank you, No-Tell Hotel, for being here. I really appreciate it. There is just, oh my God, there was just so many connections that I found in this season, and it was fantastic. Let me go back to the last set of poll questions that I have up. Don't forget, guys, you can go to my Twitter at MaryGirl Moody, and you can vote on these questions. Now, these right here are already closed, but the murder house questions are still up, and then I'm going to start tomorrow with asylum questions. Okay, so the first question that is already closed is, do you think Madison Montgomery is related to Charles Montgomery? 76% said yes. 24% said no. Nice. And then the last question that I asked, again, it's already closed. This one was my personal favorite. Who do you think bit Beyonce? 27% said Constance Langdon. 36% said Madison Montgomery, and Madison's the winner. 14% said Fiona Good, and 23% said Tate Langdon. So, yeah, again, those questions, those polls have closed. on my Twitter. And again, but the Murder House ones are open, and then I'll start tomorrow with Asylum, or probably tonight. I'm sure I'll get a head start on watching it tonight, so I'll be posting. And then, of course, guys, don't forget, at the Freaks of AHS on Facebook, we talk about so much, about spoilers, teasers, news, information in regards to the seasons, and we help answer each other's questions, things like that. So we help lift each other up. We are like Casey today. He was so funny. Which Casey is at a ball game, I think, right now for his family. And I think Maisie is doing something else as well. So I do apologize that they're not here. They'll probably be here for the Asylum. But Casey was so cute. You know how how Casey loves the Yankee Candles. He slapped on the American Horror Story posters onto Yankee Candles and posted them in the group. It was pretty fucking hilarious. There's things like that in there. And I know that I posted, some polls, and I was trying to go find them. I was trying to go find them so I could get those poll results, but I cannot even find them right now. There's there's so many things posted on there so far. So okay. I'm just trying to see if I can find my poll real quick, because if I can't, I will just go to something else. Oh yeah, and you guys can absolutely post your fan art in there, anything fan made. So I'm just so grateful to all of you. Oh, there we go. Okay, this one was the constants. Which one? I was asking people about how many examples of Constance being a witch do I need to prove that will prove to you that she is one. Over 30 people said 2 stable examples will convince me. 14 said that if you find 5, I'll be convinced. 13 said I'll be convinced at 3 examples, and 3 said 4 examples will prove it. So I found 5 that prove that Constance, that bitch, is a witch. And okay, so Casey said that he just got home. So I will send him an invite very quickly so he can join the remainder of the stream. It's okay. You go to the kitchen if you need to, Ray. What? No?
I want something to use.
Okay, well, used for what? A new game that you bought?
No, from you. No.
Oh, okay. Well, Daddy can help you, sweetness.
No. He said if I come out again to him, he would take my phone.
Okay, well, then I can't help you right now. Let me finish live streaming, and then I'll help you, okay? Okay, I love you. But it's going to be a few minutes, so you got to go back up. What's up, Casey? Casey? Can you hear me, Casey?
Yes, hi.
Oh, sweet. There you are.
Wow. Well, guys, guess what? This is so much better than the last time Mary and I streamed. She couldn't hear me.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh. Hi. I don't know how long we're streaming. I figured an hour, so I'm glad to be here. But I have so many thoughts on Murder House.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's move back to Murder House. Yes.
This is our Murder House review stream. Hope y'all are enjoying our Freak AHS weeks. Tomorrow starts Asylum, and then next Sunday we'll be back for Asylum. Just wanted to plug that so you guys are ready to marathon Asylum. And before I start the quick review, I'm sorry, I'm talking really fast. I want to get this in. And I just wanted to say thank you guys to the ones of you in the group who participated with us with the Murder House stuff. And were posting about it, having theories and all stuff. That was really great, and I'm very grateful for that because I'm glad you guys are really participating with us and having a good time. So yeah, thank you guys for that. Murder House thoughts. You guys know during Beyond the Horror Murder House last year in January, we completely trashed it. This is weird because we're reviewing Murder House even though we already did an episode by episode review, but that's okay. It's just to get us pumped for 8. Hashtag 8. um, but I am just, I have more positive things to say about Murder House now, after this last rewatch, because I enjoyed it more than I did last time. But I think that was because last time I watched it, I had just rewatched it, for my American Horror Story rewatch, before season 6. But last year before Cult, I didn't rewatch Murder House because I didn't want to watch it. But I just, this is my rewatch this year, so I was more excited to watch Murder House this time, and I liked it a lot more. I think just because I hadn't already watched it, and I wasn't. And honestly, I forgot so much that happened because I kind of
Yeah.
I blocked it out of my memory because I was like, I don't want to think about it. Murder House sucked. That when there were plot twists, I was like, oh my god, even though I already knew that, like, I was like, wow. Like, guys, I completely forgot about the part where um Violet's mom, I was trying to think of her name, but then I could only think of the actress. Sorry. Violet's mom, Vivian, da, da, da. I completely forgot that Ben sent Vivian to a mental hospital. Completely
Yeah,
forgot.
okay. Oh God, yeah.
That's an example of it, because when that happened in the show, I was like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot about it. And then when it happened, I was like, wow, I can't believe you do that. And honestly, the first,
Hold on, you're
I
going in
think
and
that,
out, Casey.
oh, sorry, am I
Okay,
good?
no, you're good now. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think my highest, like, my best critique I can give to Murder House is the writing is really good.
Yeah, the writing was fantastic. And there, you know, you're right about the twists and turns, because it has been a long time since I looked at Murder House. And of course, it's like you said, we kind of looked at it with so much hatred and disdain when we reviewed it for Beyond the Heart.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, Beyond the Heart will be back, of course, this year for the season 8 crossover.
8 to 8.
It's an unofficial live American Horror Story after show where Casey, Maisie, Tammy, and I will review episode by episode immediately afterwards. So.
Yes. But yeah, I hope you guys join us for Beyond the Horror. It's a lot of fun, I promise. But just rewatching Murder House in a new light was really exciting. And I noticed, because last time I watched it one episode a week instead of binging it. But sitting down to binge it, I enjoyed it so much more because I watched this whole thing in a day. Sorry. I know we were supposed to spread it out throughout the week, but I was like, this is good. So I kept watching. But I noticed so much that each episode was riveting and interesting, and each one, it had a specific format. It started out in the past and worked its way forward and had something to do with what had happened in the past. And I was like, this is smart. This is really good. And it made me remember why I fell in love with the show in the first place, even though it wasn't the first episode I saw. That was episode 1 of Freak Show. But I went back and watched it. But it was so good, especially watching it and binging it and noticing all the things I hadn't before. And also being more appreciative of what they gave us, because a lot of shows aren't that good with the first season. And I was just really happy to rewatch it, and I was really impressed. And I was really happy about rewatching it. I still don't like any of the characters. I hate them.
I know, especially Vivian and Violet. Still whiny fuckers for me. And Ben, oh my God, Ben is a moron. Even more so now, watching Murder House again. So yeah.
Also, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna give my last final thought on Murder House, and then talk about Ben, because I have something to say. I have something to say. It made me mad. It's just that they kept you entertained and shook. Because at the end of each episode, they had some sort of type of plot twist or something to further the story that made things make sense or made things more interesting. And it was just so exciting. I was like, man, I kind of feel bad about trashing it. But
I know, right? Because there were some really great parts in it. And Ronald Johnson, thank you so much for being here. It's his first time, so we are de-virginizing him. And
slut.
yeah, right.
That's what they do at Rocky Horror Picture Show Live. If you've seen it before, they call
Yes,
you a virgin. If not, you're a slut. I don't know
yes,
if that makes sense.
I
Sorry.
hear it awesomeness. And Alexis Alexander is asking, what is this? Well, we are reviewing American Horror Story Murder House in anticipation for the crossover season. And you are welcome, Ronald Johnson. Thank you for being here, darling. Casey, okay, what do you think about Ben? I need to know this.
I think he's incompetent. Because the fact that but it goes to the rest of the family too, because Ben is so freaking stupid. It makes me almost feel bad for Violet and Vivian, but I can't feel bad for Violet and Vivian. You know why? Because they're both stupid too. Everything they do in the show is wrong. They make the wrong decision at every single turn.
Every single one. Yes.
Literally, I'm just saying, the fact that they didn't GTFO until like halfway through the season, and the fact that even then they were like, let's go back. I'm like, huh? But the worst part, and here's where Ben's character as a whole just like plummeted for me. It's in the last episode when Ben's taking Michael with him. I'm like, and he's walking so slow. He's walking through the rooms. He's looking around and stuff. I'm like, you know there are ghosts there. You know there's people there that have killed people. Why are you standing there with the baby?
Seriously.
No, the worst part to me is that he sits I remember this vividly because I was so pissed off. He sits the baby down in the side of the baby cradle. He's walking around, and I'm like, your wife and daughter got murdered in this house, and you're just da 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 da. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm just saying, Violet killed herself. Vivian died giving birth, and he's just lottie-dotting around, sitting the baby down. I'm like, you got to get out of there. Are you not forgetting about the break-ins? Your daughter dating a
ghost serial killer.
A ghost school shooter who you knew about, you know, when
and he was
he
letting
knew.
Babysit for fuck's sake. I mean, still, you know. Would let Constance.
He knew how Kate turned out with Constance, and he was like, oh yeah, here's the baby. And the fact that he waited so long to get the baby out of the house, that the ghost had plenty of time to make it look like he killed himself, is ridiculous.
Yeah. Debbie,
and final thing,
you didn't miss anything, darling. We're reviewing Murder House. I'm sorry, Casey.
It was so out of character for him just not to be pissed off at all that they killed him. Yeah. Right? Because I expected him as a ghost to be like, what the heck, guys? You killed me. I was trying to leave.
Right? Instead of all happy, building a Christmas tree with Vivian.
But can I tell you the worst part?
Well, Craig Cass says that Ben is sexy in a crazy, delusional, pathetic way. What's the worst part?
He is pathetic. The worst part to me is that Ben got what he wanted. Do you know the one thing he wanted throughout the whole season? He wanted one thing and one thing only. A baby. All he wanted was that baby. Because think about it. Remember? Vivian's like, oh, can't get pregnant. I want a baby. But Vivian didn't want that baby. Vivian wanted a dog.
Yeah. That's right.
Ben wanted that baby. And he was this close. This close. Y'all see that? This close. This close to getting his baby. He had the baby. He was ready to go. He could start his new life. And instead he was just tiptoeing around the house his wife and daughter died in.
It drove me crazy.
Right?
I had mentioned something about it too when I was going over certain stats on it. So,
but with that being said, I think sometimes we forget how vital characters are in terms of enjoyment.
Yeah.
Of the show. And the thing though, I think everything in Murder House is great besides the characters. I think I think they came up with something so creative and so like mind blowing and so interesting and so like new that they forgot about the characters because the characters aren't likable, aren't relatable,
Yeah.
and number one again aren't likable
So why the
because
fuck did we like this show in the first place if we don't even like season 1, you know?
I think it's because when we first watched it, it was so new and exciting. But looking backwards, it's like these people suck.
B. Devlin says,
No,
I love this guy. You understand my frustration.
thank you. Um,
And Walt
it,
Vanderwall, it's so great to have you here. So hi to you too. And Craig Cass asks, was the school shooting meant to portray the Columbine shooting? My opinion
I
was yes.
I agree because it was like horrifyingly similar. And I gotta say, in light of the recent school shootings, which I also must add to the side, I'm glad it's been a minute before since we've heard about a school shooting, just like
Yeah.
this bit of a minute, because for a while there it's like one a week, and I was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. But just a little bit, like a month or something. I laugh when I like get nervous. Okay, it wasn't because I was laughing
No,
at it,
no,
but seriously though, uh,
well,
um,
Casey, I did find proof in this season. Well, one thing that I really enjoyed this season was going through and really paying attention to their dialogue because I was able
mm,
to find 5 examples where Constance demonstrated being a witch. And
mhm.
I found out about like what was really in the house and how it could be connecting to season 8. And so I really did enjoy going through Murder House this time. Yeah, I gotta say it. There was Vivian was still annoying, so was Violet and Ben. The characters again still didn't relate to them. Still hated Tate and his annoying relationship with Violet, but still, that was great writing and it was a great house. A lot of the stories centered on the house. So you kind of, it was kind of like Roanoke. You kind of felt enclosed, you know.
I have 3 separate points that I like have like you just mentioned.
Okay.
I think it was during our Beyond the Horror Cult review that I talked about this,
Mhm.
and it's that the problem with Cult that the other the other 6 seasons did not have was that Cult didn't give us a distinct one location. The neighborhood didn't work as a location, and the location for the season in the season clearly should have been the butchery, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, because think about it. Murder House has the house. Asylum has the asylum. Coven has the house. Freak Show has the campgrounds. Hotel has the hotel. And Roanoke has the house. Colt
Right.
didn't really give us a solid, good location to get attached to. And the problem is, in the first 6 seasons, the location, the building, or wherever they are, is so like
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My son was asking me a
it,
question, but my,
it's
my
so
son was doubling down.
it's so it's so related to the plot that it almost feels like a character to where I kind of wish Colt would have had, a good one location for us to really get attached to,
Okay.
like the butchery, because I think there was a lot to do with the butchery. Colt
Yeah,
messed
the
up on 2
asylum,
points.
the house in Roanoke, the tents and the
The
circus.
house in Roanoke was amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the architecture and where it was and the location and the look, everything about it was so eerie and creepy. And it was wonderful. And Cult didn't have that. And I know this is isn't a cult review, but it's about to bounce back. Cult didn't do the location thing right, and Murder House does it perfectly. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I have a mental map of that house, and I'm like, this is terrifying. I love it.
I just don't think though that Murder House is going to be in season 8, just due to the fact that the owners are dicks and don't want the house,
Right.
don't want to be in the spotlight. So and I think that they're going to build the Murder House like on a set, certain rooms, maybe like the kitchen and a bedroom, to do for
Well,
flashbacks.
don't forget, I don't think the interior of the Murder House in season 1 is the actual house, right? Then isn't that just I don't think the interior in Murder House is an actual house. I
Yeah,
think
it
they just
was.
used I don't know. You're probably right, but I thought they used like sound stages or something, and I thought they just used the exterior of the house. But I don't think it'd be too hard to like rebuild the house. But I think, or like to some extent, just they can make it work. um, but but I think the thing is though, Murder House has such a strong location compared to the Coven, which I like, but I didn't think the witch school, you know, was quite as interesting as the house. But I like the idea of being in New Orleans. I don't know. But my fear is that the Murder House Coven crossover is just going to be Michael and the rest of the witches, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
Part of me feels like what Ryan was saying with like the episode 5 twist or halfway through twist is that the first half takes place in New Orleans and the second half they go to Los Angeles. I think that'd be a good
that would
twist.
be badass. I never thought of that.
Right? Like Michael goes to join the Coven. Then halfway through the season, the Coven's like, ooh, better go to Los Angeles to look for Queenie. And Michael's like, crap.
And I don't think that they're going to be talking about, I mean, it would be nice if they mentioned Queenie, but I just really don't think that they're going to bring that up either. There's just so many loose ends. And it seems like once Ryan ends a storyline, he ends a storyline. And you really don't see it come back up.
My faith in Queenie's story arc getting a good ending to where they go look for her is dwindling. Like, every day I'm like, this isn't gonna happen. This isn't gonna happen. But every day I'm like, ooh, this isn't gonna happen. But please, Ryan, because the thing is though, if it doesn't happen, it's gonna seem so out of place.
Yeah.
Because I loved it in Hotel, but it was so out of place. It made no sense to this. It had nothing to do with the story. It was so out of place. And I almost feel like maybe he was sowing the seeds or whatever the expression is for the Murder House Coven crossover in that scene. Because it's so random.
It is really random. Absolutely. And it's in the final episode, isn't it? I think it's of Hotel. It's
the final one or the second to last one. We'll see in 5 weeks.
Yeah, right. Guys, we're going to be here every single Sunday reviewing the season. So next Sunday, we're going to be here reviewing Asylum. And Casey, we're going to have to go on ahead and wrap it up because I do have children starting to wander down the stairs.
Okay, last thing. I think Tate is the worst thing. Oh, wait, the house thing. I just thought that the Murder House was a really great location for the show, and they did great on that. 2, I think that everything in the season was so good that they kind of had less time to do better character writing, and that's why they are so unlikable. And 3, Tate is now my least favorite character in American Horror Story because, like we were talking about the school shootings, I think it's a little inappropriate now. It was inappropriate. It's American Horror Story, so I don't really know where the line is. But at this point, I kind of just hate, because I don't have a problem with him being in the show, but I think it's kind of sucky they painted him as such a nice, like, love interest, who almost got what he wanted, which
he kind of did. But
he almost got it, but he didn't, so.
Well, now that I think about it, I really did like the character because I think he was brilliant. Because at the end in the final episode, Tate and Ben are having a conversation, and he admits that he knew that he killed his classmates, that he set his stepfather on fire, and that he murdered Chad and Patrick, that kind of thing. So he knew everything he was doing, and he was always pretending and crying, just for sympathy and attention. And I just think that that was brilliant. That if you go back and watch American Horror Story with the knowledge that Tate is not this sweet, innocent little kid, little blonde-haired kid that he portrays himself to be, it's actually even scarier of how he's drawing Violet in, and that she, she's such a sweet young girl. I mean, she's an emo, depressed,
annoying girl.
But still, she would have moved past that. It was just a phase in her life.
Yes.
She's going to move past it. So, yeah, I just think that
I guess the thing is, it's just like with Tate, there is a line in terms of forgiveness, and I think what Tate did was unforgivable.
Oh, absolutely. Way past it. Yes.
So specifically to me, the school shooting thing, because of how much they played it up, it was just so like that. There was no way to get past it because of how much they played it up.
Yeah.
But I can't deal with him. But with that being said, Evan Peters did a great job. Thanks.
Now, guys,
Yeah.
remember there are tons of questions on my Twitter account, so we're going to start working on Asylum this next week. So come join the Freaks of AHS on Facebook. There's a link to the group in the description. My Twitter and all that stuff. You could even go check out my website, www.maryannmoody.us. You can read my stories and stuff like that. So, yeah, everybody, thank you so much again for being here. Casey, thank you for joining us. I know that you had a family thing, so I appreciate you for coming on when you could.
I had to go watch baseball and it was awful. I don't think there's baseball next Sunday, so we should be good. But guys, don't forget, this week, please join our Facebook group if you have not already. There will be tons of Asylum related posts this week. I'm going to change the banner and everything. Made a new one.
And you have to check Casey's Yankee Candles of American Horror Story. That was so hilarious. Everybody thought it was real and went to the Yankee Candle website to go order them.
If they existed, I'd order all of them, but you actually can make them yourself if you wanted to. They're $35, but that's too much for me.
God,
I know. I have this one, Sweet Nothings. It's wonderful. Anyway, it smells like violet. Violet. Actual violet. But anyways, guys, yes. Join our Facebook group if you have not already. It's in the description. There's going to be tons and tons and tons of Asylum posts this week. Next Sunday at the exact same time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, we're going to be reviewing Asylum. It's going to be good.
And then coming
each
up
Sunday, we're going to
show all that stuff. So yeah.
Y'all know if you're American Horror Story fans. Do not forget to binge Asylum this week. I might have started a bit early. I watched the first episode. But yes, we're good. We're good. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Again, go check out the Twitter, the group, and all that stuff. And don't forget to thumb up the stream if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that way you can be notified when I go live. You are all awesome. Thank you so much for being here and reviewing Murder House with us. If we missed a comment or a question, this video is going to process, so give it about 20 minutes to process. And then please go post your comment in the comments so I can go in there and Casey and I can answer them and stuff like that. So, all right, guys, thank you again for being here. And thank you, Casey and BRT, Dawn, and Tammy as moderators in the comments. You guys are awesome. Good night.